All right, we're joined now by Patrick Marley, one of our Madison Bureau reporters, to talk about what the governor is returning to from the campaign trail. So Patrick, he's in a recent polls showed very low approval ratings. He may have rankled some of the Republican leadership in Madison about some of his comments. What do you think the governor is sort of coming back to, and what does he need to do to get things done again here in Wisconsin?
Well, he has the benefit of Republicans continuing to control the legislature, but he does have repair work to do. Many of them were frustrated, felt like he took his eyes off the ball of governing the state as he did this presidential run. They felt like he put together a budget that wasn't as thought out as they would have liked, had some key problems as they saw it. Felt like that was left with them. On the Bucks deal, Republicans were in agreement for the most part that they needed to get that deal done. But if you remember, the lawmakers dramatically restructured it, and again, they felt that the governor wasn't leading in many aspects of that. So he's going to have to do some repair work with them. He's coming back just as the legislative session is getting going. They have this big fight over a fetal tissue, doing research on fetal tissue from aborted fetuses. I think many will be turning to him because some Republicans are seeing themselves in a box on that issue where they've pitted the pro-life community against university researchers, and they're trying to find a way out.
All right, so let me bring in Dan and Mary again. So the governor is back his first day today as a non-presidential candidate in a while. What's his first phone call today? What does he do today? Does he have to reach out to certain people in particular?
I mean, it is true that there are probably some Republicans, and I talked to a number of Republican leaders yesterday, and they all kept saying, I wasn't offended by his criticism of the Republicans here, but, he does have some, as Patrick said, some repair work. I think his first task is to convince people that he's interested in being governor. He's, for the last 9 months, been very focused on national issues and all of the major agenda items and the budget, and then the other proposals since then, prevailing wage, right to work, and the 20-week abortion ban, were all initiatives led by the legislature. He sort of followed them, agreed to what they said, and signed the legislation, but they weren't his bills. He's got to appear interested in the job for legislators and for the public, and he's got to try to make himself relevant again.
So Mary, let me ask, we're at a stage that the two-year budget is done. The fall legislative session probably isn't going to be as big and exciting as the spring in terms of issues for the governor to sort of take positions on and direct things. What does he do to do, as Dan suggested, make people aware? Or does he have, just by virtue of what's happening, a low profile?
I think he's going to need to start trying to control the legislative agenda again. It does look like he's kind of been not taking the reins, and that Voss and Fitzgerald have really been setting the agenda.
They've been effectively the governor for the last 9 months.
Which is completely different than when he first took office in 2011. He called them in for a special session on jobs, his collective bargaining proposal. It seemed like he was in control of that place, and it has not seemed like that way in a while. So I think he needs to do that. I think he needs to get out and talk to people again and go around the state. Which is what he
likes doing.
Right.
So, even though he's not running anymore, I think he's still going to run, and that's what he probably needs to do. His numbers drop off when he disappears, and he's pretty much disappeared from Wisconsin. I think he's going to get out there some way or another, and Scott Fitzgerald was saying this yesterday. He thinks he's got to get out there and try to convince people that he has some unfinished business. What that is, I don't think we know just yet.